The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Therefore, guard them accordingly. Take care that you entertain no notion suitable to virtue and reasonable nature. This is a quote by Marcus Aurelius, who is the author of Meditations. He is one of the reasons why I started getting into virtue. I started reading, all because of that great movie Gladiator. Marcus Aurelius, are you not entertained? And as I started learning about virtue, it made me think about my personal life. And when you start thinking about your personal life, you want to reflect how you are professionally, athletically, with your habits, all around. So then when we created Masters of Communications, I thought about a mission statement. What can be a simple mission statement that people can understand and it will hone into them because they can use it as well. So then we used to live our culture of the 5 C's by speaking with virtue and fostering generational leaders. So to the people out there that wake up and ask themselves, what is my mission in life? Or to the content creators, if you don't have one, start with virtue. Because virtue it's a great quality to have, of good moral and ethical values, of great character. Because when we speak about character, there's 2 things that we have in this world, is our word and our reputation. So we need to harness that and take care of it and protect it, guard it, like as if it's our child. Because that's how we're going to be judged. That's how we're going to be trusted. If we want to be master communicators, master salesmen, we have to live a life of virtue because our word and our reputation are on the line. And you could be lined up with all these different communicators, salesmen, whatever it is. They're going to trust the one person that lives life with virtue because of their word and their reputation. Now, before we begin, I want to thank you all for tuning into the podcast, Masters of Communication. I'm your host, Jorge Luis Quintero, and welcome back to the podcast. And if you listen to the last episode, we spoke on the mission statement and how we're going to speak about virtue. What is virtue and how we're going to make it impact our lives as communicators to really influence. That's the key. We need to influence and persuade, but in the right way, in the virtuous way. And when I think about word and reputation, we have to be very careful with our thoughts because our thoughts become our words. Our words become our action. Our action becomes our habits. Our habits become our character. And our character becomes our destiny. Now, all this was broken down by a Chinese philosopher named Lao Tzu. Hope I'm saying his name right because very wise guy. Lived a virtuous life as well. So he talks about that. Our thoughts become our words become our actions become our habits become our character becomes our destiny. So if we're not living a life of virtue, if we're spreading false information, if we're living a sketchy life and people remember us by that, we're not going to be trusted. So protect that. Now, how do we live a virtuous life? There's 5 elements that I really believe define virtue. Marcus Aurelius has 4, however, Masters of Communications, we have 5. The first one is humility. Now, with these 5 examples that I'm going to use them in sales. Because I deal with it all the time. Now, with humility, if you do something wrong, take ownership of it. That's the first thing you do, is take ownership of it. And by taking ownership of it, there comes consequences. So you have to You have to meet the other person in the middle and show that, you know what, I take ownership of it, and this is what we're gonna do to clean it up. It's like you go to the restaurant, right, and you get horrible service, and what the owner does is he'll probably comp your food to at least make it right, so you have one more opportunity to come back and try the food. So that's what it is humility, is you take ownership of it, and with ownership there's consequences, right? And you need to face them, because these consequences are what build courage. And that's what people are going to admire, is someone who isn't afraid to stand up when things go wrong, to speak up. You want to be a master communicator? Speak with courage. People are drawn to that braveryness, right? Right now, there's a lot of influencers, philosophers, people trying to make a name for themselves, right? The ones that I listen to are the ones that have courage, the ones that speak up about things that no one wants to speak about, but they're willing to take a risk. Now, Andrew Tate is an example. He's very controversial, but I love what he says, because he speaks with truth and courage, because whether you like him or not, there's things that are going on with this world, and I admire his courage. If you want to be a great master communicator, you need to speak with courage. It builds more credibility, and it builds more value to you personally. Not only that, but legends never die, and legends have courage. The next one, temperance. Now, how do we use temperance in being a master communicator? When I think of temperance, it's finding a balance, right? Finding a balance of, I would like to consider it good and evil. You know, the other day I spoke to a close relative of mine, and he was talking about, well, I'm not drinking no more, but I do like smoking cigarettes, so how do I balance that out? The truth is, there's no such thing as balance in life. David Goggins said it perfectly. You have to control the imbalances of life. So everything in moderation. And when you speak with people, you also have to speak their language, but in moderation, because at the end of the day, you don't want to sell yourself in a sense, sell yourself to be someone you're not. But you have to find a certain language to speak and not reflect, but relate to the individual. And when you relate to them, then you start speaking in the same language, you start connecting more. But again, there comes with limits and boundaries. So that's what temperance is. You have to find the limits and boundaries of a conversation, of yourself, of what you're willing to risk. Another one is cursing. People are against cursing. And I curse. I know when to curse, though. If I have a client who's cursing 1,000 different, every single word he's just cursing, shit, blah, 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 I'll throw in a curse every once in a while, because it makes him feel comfortable. And not only that, but I still keep my value high. Now, some people might not agree with it, and that's okay. There's no perfect answer or solution. It's what works best for you. So try it out if you curse. But again, with limits and boundaries. Temperance. The fourth one, wisdom. If you want to be a great communicator, you have to go through experience. Experience is going to go with humiliation, courage. It's all about perception versus perspective. The more you start speaking to people, the more you fail, the more you learn to also understand individuals. Communicating is like a sales game. Sales is all about numbers, right? You can knock on 100 doors and you might only get 10 sales. The next day you can knock on 100 more doors and you get 20. You never know, but it's an abundance. There's over 6 billion people in this world. Talk to as many as you can. Fail as much as you can and learn. Because the more you learn, the more you understand perception versus perspective. The more you can understand that maybe this person sees this wall as pink because he's got some sort of dysfunction that I don't know about. So I need to take myself out of my shoes and put myself in their shoes to understand and see why they see the wall is pink, unless they're retarded. I don't know, but you gotta figure it out. And that's what it is, perception versus perspective. And last but not least, truth. That's all that we seek for in life, is the truth. So when you speak, speak with truth. If you can't get it done, be honest. And what you can do is, with truth, is find a solution. Because that's what the truth is. It's facts and a solution. The fact is, I'm not able to build your house. However, I have a solution. I have 2 people that are able to provide that solution for you. And by doing that, you're able to find a solution, connect, and keep that relationship. I'm going to give you an example. Last week, being in the world of logistics, I have a new customer that is moving alcoholic beverages. And unfortunately, we're not able to do it because of bootlegging reasons. However, I found someone who could do it for him, and he got it done. And he's still asking me for quotes, because even though I couldn't get this done, I'm able to get C, D, E, F, G done. So there's still room for me to win. And that's what truth is. Honesty, humility. Can't get it done? That's okay. That shows courage. That shows braveness. And then you speak up. Speak with passion. Body language, chest high. Temperance. Know your limits and boundaries. Respect the individuals that you're speaking with. Don't cross the lines. Don't cross the lines. Wisdom. The more you learn, the more you speak with people, the experiences you make are going to make you an effective communicator. You learn the difference between perception versus perspective. And then finally, truth. We want the facts. We want the data. Give us the facts. Give us the Carfax. That's what we want. Which leads to solutions. That's my solution for you, is to live life with virtue, speak with virtue, control your mind, be as virtuous as possible, because you will be an attractive person. You will influence people, and people will want to buy from you, work with you, be with you, and it'll make you a better you. Thank you all for tuning in, and keep mastering life.